I know. We'll see.
All right, so we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Love Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. I am Shon Williams, aka Mr. President, and welcome back to the Safe Room. I know it's been about 2 weeks since I've done a conversation, but we're back now. Welcome back to a conversation here on the Safe Room, where we create a safe space for entrepreneurs and business owners here to share their personal and professional stories. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we have a fabulous guest. Actually, this is a guest I've had before,
Yep.
just like it's a little bit in the archives, but now I had to run it back. We had to run it back with this person because we're gonna be talking about a very big event coming up very soon.
Mm-hmm.
But before I get to that, let's get to this individual, this lovely individual. Miss Nik-Keisha Moodie is a dynamic entrepreneur and community builder with a passion for empowering individuals to thrive in their professional journeys. And as a business mentor, educator, and founder. Let me repeat that one more time. A business mentor, educator, and founder, Nik-Keisha leads
Yeah.
with a commitment to innovation and inclusivity, providing valuable resources, coaching, and support to entrepreneurs and businesses aiming for sustainable success. Man, that just sounds like je ne sais quoi.
I
Just sounds
know.
rich. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, back here on the same room, Miss Nik-Keisha Moodie. Nikki, how are you doing?
We came on before and I was saying I wasn't feeling under the weather, but it's so hard to not feel excited to be in the safe room, like for sure.
I appreciate it. And we already have the comments coming in. Shout out to Chris. I appreciate the love. Greetings to you, man. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to have you back. I'm trying to remember the last time we had this conversation was it last year, I believe? I don't know. Like the time flies. I low key
I
forget.
know. That's so true. I feel like it's been over a year for sure. Because even as you were describing all things that I've done or what I currently do, I'm like, yeah, I've grown like a lot.
And it's great to see you grown. You keep evolving. I feel like like Pokemon, where you just have the characters that just evolve and evolve and evolve. That's kind of like
Yeah.
you. It's like, what's the next form Nikki's about to take it?
I like that. I like that.
And I see again the comments are coming in. This is probably the
Yeah.
first time like the comments are flooded in this quickly. Usually takes a while, but it's clear that you have a fantastic audience. Thank you,
Love it.
Tisha. I love it. I love it. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I mentioned, this is going to be a very different conversation because not only we're going to talk about, a little bit about Nikki, what she's done, building the Dream Society, but we're going to be talking about a very specific event. If you guys are not following me on
Mhm.
IG, just before I get started, go do that. Please, you
Yep.
guys are sleeping on my content. Let's not do that. Second of all, the key to entrepreneurship 2024 Finance and Business Summit is coming up on
It
November
is.
24th. And man, oh man, I'm
Mhm.
super excited. We're going to be talking about what to expect for the event. Nikki's going to be breaking down just how the key to entrepreneurship first started, how it came to be, what are some of the details, what is like the latest scoop. So I mean, like, this is kind of like a preview, guys. So I hope again you're ready, you're pumped. And if you're not, let me tell you something, we're gonna make you pumped for
You
that
will make
event.
you pumped.
Yes, absolutely. So I mean, you know what it is, guys. We're always about spreading the love and the support for everyone. And again, I'm looking at the comments. I see people promoting the event as well. With Chris saying, "Get your tickets now." Listen,
Meow.
I love the energy. We're starting off on a high, and that's amazing. But before we get into that, we have to start with our top segment, ladies and gentlemen. It is amazing. I don't know. I've done this with. I don't think I've done this with you, Nikki. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I don't think we've done the hot seat before. I'm not sure.
Hmm. Go. Just go with the flow. I can't remember either.
So, so I have 4 questions for you, okay? And I just want
Okay.
you to answer them to your best abilities, okay?
Oh my God. This is the hot seat. I get it. Okay.
Yeah. Don't worry. It's not that bad. Don't worry. All right. So the first question. So outside the work that you do,
You got to repeat yourself. Outside the work that I do, tell.
yeah, outside the work that you do, tell us something about yourself in one sentence.
Oh my God. Believe it or not, I'm an
I
introvert.
mean, yeah. I mean, like, listen, it doesn't have to be one sentence. I mean, I always tell people one sentence, but most of the time it's like they give a full on explanation. Some people give a couple of words. So, I mean, It's up to you.
Okay, that's fair because you told me only just say a sentence. So, um, yeah, outside of what I do, like for me, I love like my downtime. Like like I know when people see like, oh my God, you're so loud, but when I'm in a room full of people, that really does pump me up. But low key, I am an introvert. Like I really love being in my space. And as we talk about this evening, even how I see myself and view myself, I'm constantly have to be reminded of those around me that I'm capable, right? Because I do have shy tendencies. I do. I know it doesn't seem like it, but outside of that, I cope. I cope with coming out of my own head. So yeah.
I mean, that's good to hear because I feel like again, a lot of people get that perception from you saying that, oh man, Nikki's just on the run 24/7. I see hey, like you could have a run on sentence.
Run on
Listen, some
sentence.
people play that trick sometimes with me. So it's like, all right, we gotta set some barriers now, some standards. But
Right.
no,
Right.
I feel like for you, again, a lot of people assume that like you're always on the go. And again, you are a very
Mhm.
busy individual. You're always looking to just keep evolving within
Yeah.
your own work, but also supporting people. But it's nice to know and even here for other people to hear that, yeah, like I'm an introvert. I'm trying to just be more behind the scenes. I'm not trying to do so much.
I
And I feel
know.
like eventually, like it becomes to a point like when you acknowledge that, it's like it feels good. It feels great.
It does. It does. Yeah, for sure. The
Yeah.
power of community, right? It goes right back to that. The power of community.
All right. Okay. Perfect. All right. So here's the next question I have. So if there's anything that you could do right now, like let's say like maybe it's a hobby that you haven't tried out, like what would it be? Any hobby that you've been
Mm,
thinking about, what would you want to try out right now?
that's a very good question. Off the bat, I'm not adventurous. When I'm on vacation, I'm like the person reading the book by the beach, doing those types of stuff. But I think lately, one of the things that has come up that I would be interested in doing is going on a cruise. Like, for me,
Mm.
I'm like not really a fan of water either, but I would go out of my comfort zone because I'm hearing great things about that, but also the destinations that you get to visit while on that cruise. So as I, manifest 2025, I do look forward to expanding my travel opportunities. And for those who've been on a cruise, hit me up because I want to know the ins and the outs about this, right? Because I don't know. It's one thing to be on a resort, where I can get off and drive and do whatever, but to be on a cruise or ship, I would be interested to know, what's the dynamics there. That's the most
Mm.
adventure you're gonna get from me. Okay. Okay. Cool.
I love that. Honestly, I would love to go on a cruise too. I mean, like again, I'm not the biggest fan of water as well, especially like
Yeah. Me
if it's like
neither.
in the deep seas in the ocean, it's like, yeah, you could miss me with that. But I mean, a cruise would be fun.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not jumping on no plane, but I'll go on a ship.
I feel you. I feel you. All right. Going on to the next question for the hot seat. So I want you to share an interesting fact with us that you rarely share. An
Mm.
interesting fact that you rarely share about yourself.
Well, I don't tell everybody until you find out, but I am a mom of four boys. It's always something that people are like, "Wait, what? You have boys?" And then I'm like, "Yeah, I don't even just have boys. I have man children." And so a lot of what I do is really with them in mind. I often think about our economy. I'm often thinking about how are they going to survive. It's shifting in such a way where I don't think things are made for them anymore, where we would have come from a generation where we're always focused on like, doing good for ourselves and making money. I think there's a lot of obstacles this new generation has. And so I love my children and everything that I do is for them. And so I do hope too as well that they seek entrepreneurship because there's no glass ceiling, right? In the early onsets of entrepreneurship, it's very hard. We know this, but once you figure it out, right, that formula, you can literally make as much money as you want. And so that's what I scheme in the background. I thrive to being a philanthropist, and I really just have that caring nature to help, support where I can.
I love that. That's so beautiful. I feel like I kind of share that same sentiment. I always want to like see how I can support people, help them what they're doing,
Hmm.
obviously. And sometimes supporting someone doesn't have to be like you're giving up an arm and a leg, whether it's like
Exactly.
you're just sharing something, maybe it's like a resource, or maybe you're sharing someone's material on social media, which is like I'm very like prominent of doing. Like sometimes
Mm-hmm.
a one random day, like someone will just get a random tag in their DMs. It's like, oh, this Shon decided to share this. All right, I appreciate it. You know, it puts us want to be able to like share our stuff, but also have a community and an audience that also is supporting you in what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I've been very lucky for
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so the final question here is what is your personal safe room? So what is a safe space? It could be
Mm,
physical, it could be mental that allows you to be your authentic self.
I think currently right now, finding your people or your person, somebody that, it's very hard being an entrepreneur because sometimes, my family and friends don't really get what I'm doing or they don't understand why I don't just get a full time job and just create security for myself. And so, really being able to have somebody in your corner that understands what you do, supports what you do, is backing what you do. I think for me personally, because I'm experiencing it now, it does make the journey a lot more easier. Like, as I said, I'm a single mom, right? And so having somebody that I can actually speak to and share my insights, and I don't feel like I'm, bothering them with my day. I really encourage everybody to manifest and have that desire to find a partner that supports what you do in what you do, however you do it. And this is new for me, and it feels good to know that while being a mom, somebody also cares about me as well. But then it allows me to run the business a little bit different, right? And I just want to share that with people that relationships matter on all levels, right? And I'm not just talking about romantic. I'm talking about platonic. I'm talking about friendships. There's somebody that you have to confide in that's going to allow you to have those, moments of frustration that are coming out, or those times where things are not working well. Because I can say, as entrepreneurs, when we bottle those things up, it's not safe when it does release itself. So your safe space has to be somebody that you can confide in, right? We're taking on too much as adults, let alone entrepreneurs. So we have to really start manifesting people in our lives that are really there for our best interests.
That is, man. I feel like I should just give you the floor just to do the rest of the show. I feel like,
No.
why do I need to be here, guys? No, I mean, yeah, I totally agree. Having like a little inner circle to just
Mm-hmm.
kind of help you and give you that encouragement, but also
Yeah.
be like a shoulder to lean on is very important.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, like, in the stuff that I do, I always try to connect with like high school friends, people that I grew up with in their time being. It's like,
Exactly.
because at the end of the day, it's like it's very easy to be like connected with someone, and then eventually you kind of find your calling, and then you split from them, and you completely
Yeah.
leave them in the dust, and you realize like, oh man, like, I mean, I understand I'm busy, but it doesn't mean I gotta like cut ties with you. Like, you can still
Exactly.
be part of what I'm doing, just in a different way. Maybe if it's like, okay, I have my team, this is business work.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have people that's like, this is my social life, and then I have someone that's like,
Right.
this is like I could just talk to on the phone for hours and hours.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see
Yeah.
Chris saying entrepreneurship is lonely. It's
It's
lonely,
so lonely.
it is
It's so
it's
lonely.
but I think something about that loneliness allows for a lot of reflection in a way that you're able to find that community
But
within
then how
entrepreneurship.
long though? Sometimes there's those days where you're like, I want to find my person. I want to find my accountability partner. I want to find, the person that's going to stand by me through the thick and thin. Um, and once again, I'm very grateful for building a dream. I'm grateful for people like you, where you guys can hold me on my toes. And so once again, I really think everybody should even find community, right? Even if we talk about different types of relationships, community, groups, right? To keep you, or to hold you accountable, or allow you to see that life is still lifing and you're not the only
Yeah.
one going through it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Listen, at times, again, sometimes I want to punch a wall with the stuff that I have to do, and it becomes annoying. But I think
Yeah.
again, it's again finding that community, find those people that are going to keep supporting you, and when you find those people, it's such a
Mm-hmm.
satisfying thing. And guys, never take it for granted too, because sometimes we be saying we have a community, and then they're bigging you up, but you're just like, I don't deserve it. Like, no, you do deserve it, and
You
then some.
do. You do. You do. It's so
Hmm.
true.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's that's the hot seat right there. You did great. Again, I always say it's a hot seat, but it's never that hot. It's pretty cold. It's
It is
pretty
hot because
nasty.
then you're forced to like really go deep, right? And really share what comes within. So it is a hot seat.
Well, I guess in that aspect, I appreciate it. Okay, well, let's get on to the main questions. But again, if for anyone who's tuning in right now, you're listening to the not the love, the safe room. I'm so excited right now. I'm messing my words up. The safe room on Love Bay Radio. Her upcoming event, which again, I'm very excited to be attending, the
Mhm.
Key to Entrepreneurship, Finance, and Business Summit. So, Nikki, I have to ask you, what inspired this spectacular event? Because this is my first time going to this particular event. I've been
Fair
to
enough.
the social for entrepreneurs, which I
Yep.
kind of made my first
Yep.
appearance. I got to do
You
some
did.
interviews there. I was
Mhm.
completely nervous because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. But
Fair enough.
I
Wow.
mean,
Wow.
to see like from evolved and just seeing the key to entrepreneurship just grow year after
Mhm.
year. But I wanted to ask you, like, what inspired you to start this event in the first place?
Yeah, it's crazy. I was actually thinking about it. And so when I first started with the key to entrepreneurship, I just knew that back in 2022, well, even started in 2021, to be quite frank, there was information that I wasn't privy to, but I was aware it was available. And so as I started navigating this ecosystem, it became very prevalent that a lot of my, whether it's clients, my communities, other entrepreneurs, they didn't know about this space. And I first started out by really connecting with local businesses to help me in supporting entrepreneurs in areas that they need support in, having people made available for them in one event that they could be able to connect with somebody really quick and work on that business area. And so I would want to say that in the last year, by the grace of God, he's such an amazing and powerful man because without realizing it, I remember I'd ask like, my past attendees, like, what does the key to entrepreneurship mean to you? And it had all these different variations and answers. But I would like to say that the key to entrepreneurship is ecosystem, it's community, it's being able to connect yourself with resources and tools to support you as you are starting up, as you are growing, as you are scaling, as you're looking to become established. And so it was really about removing the gatekeeping and then sharing
Mm,
all that I knew or I was coming across. And I thought to myself, with this key to entrepreneurship, it's really about bringing the ecosystem to the community. So
I
it's
love
just
that.
really a one day of just do what you got to do, connect, network, engage, partner, collab, all that.
I love that. And I think the key word that you mentioned was gatekeeping. I think that's super important because if for
Mhm.
anyone who does know Nikki, you are someone who believes that like nothing should be like, restricted in terms of like
Yep.
resources or different opportunities. Because again,
Yep.
there's a lot of people who kind of get into entrepreneurship or get in the business ecosystem, and sometimes they have a hard time navigating on what they need to, make their business
Mhm.
grow. And sometimes you think it has to do with like just monetary value, but there's a lot of things that go into it as well. Maybe having a business plan, maybe it's having the
Yes.
right connections to have those long-term partnerships. Maybe it's
Mhm.
just being able to talk to the right investors or other aspects of it that, some people may not think about it immediately. Sometimes it comes along the way. So I feel
Yeah.
like your explanation, again, having the key to entrepreneurship is like, how can I bring as much resources as possible within one room, within one space that people are
Yes.
able to grasp on it. And then,
Mhm.
you can learn from as you will. I think that's super important, especially,
Yeah.
looking at yourself. I mean, I feel like it comes from like who does Nikki doesn't know? Like who does Nikki know? Like I feel like everybody, and it's great because it's like you've been able to go into these rooms where like sometimes like people won't be in here. And guys, like again, I'm in the
Mhm.
building a dream society. I'm in the group chat. Sometimes Nikki
Mhm.
is sending like links to like events that I've never heard of. Like, oh, here's the AI notes, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
man,
that one
she's
came
the
through. I was like, yeah, that's sick.
I'm like, yeah, yeah, like she's the best, man. But it's stuff like that. And I feel like again, for a lot of us entrepreneurs, again, I think what's what Chris mentioned in the comments, entrepreneurship is lonely. And that also includes the way we operate our workflow. Sometimes we feel like
Mhm.
we need to kind of be in our own lane, but sometimes it's okay to be like, you know what? If I can't use this resource, I'm gonna share it with this group. Maybe someone can use it.
Exactly. 100%. 100%. And I want to just shut up Be Future for a second because that's where I woke up. That's why I was like, oh my God. Like you take one step, it's like, hey, Nikki, like, hey. And then at one point in time, I had to keep my head down because the registration to the marketplace, it was a far stretch. And I was actually baffled to realize how much my professional network is growing, and it's giving me more ideas of how I can even connect with other individuals who offer services. Once again, getting them connected to my network. Right? I don't want to know everything. I rather know people who know things, and then just connect
Yeah.
people in that way.
Absolutely. I see the comment from my sis. Shout out to my sis right here, Chanel. Entrepreneurship comes with selflessness. Absolutely.
Yeah, it does.
Absolutely. That
It
is
does.
so, guys, y'all are dropping bombs in the chat. Like y'all, I feel like we're at an open mic. The poetry being used in this is
Facts.
immense.
Yeah.
Alicia, Sharon is Karen. She's the best.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, man, I'm appreciating the love in the chat. It's absolutely amazing. So yeah, I mean, I want to go on to the next question. So, what is the approach for this year's event? Because I know you've been doing lots of planning behind the scenes. I'm also
Mm-hmm.
part of the planning committee with you, so we've been having these conversations. What was the approach that you wanted to take? Because I know you said, okay, first I wanted to do this in like financial literacy month, make that, a central, point of it. But what was something else that you wanted to get across for people
Mm-hmm.
who may have never heard about this event or people who maybe have attended to previous Key to Entrepreneurship events? What was the one thing you want people to really like sit with and be like, all right, this is what you're going to expect for this year's Key to Entrepreneurship?
Mm-hmm. Really, ecosystem. I'm going to go back to that word, because until I really understood what it meant, we just talk about resources and tools, but we have a whole ecosystem full of partners that do have a mandate to support us. And, while I try to be more on the side of understanding both sides, these organizations have a lot on their plate, right? They're delivering programs after programs, and it's kind of like whoever gets in gets in. So with this year, I never had a focus on the ecosystem, but realizing how much ecosystem and how much the community has supported me in my journey, that's where my mind went this year. Like, yes, we want local businesses, but I also really want the ecosystem partners in the room. So when I'm talking about the Black Entrepreneurship Alliance, Nobellum, Black Founders Network, Federation for Black Canadians, Canadian Black Chambers of Commerce, Liftoff at the Caribbean Canadian Waterloo region, these are all organizations I've had the privilege of being a part of or being closely affiliated with. And so, once again, I believe the unicorn is in our community. Who are they? I don't know. But the more I can put my hands deep down in community and bring them to the ecosystem, bring them to these organizations, I'm very certain that we are going to find great founders who were just missing the not the how but the who. You know what I mean? Just really giving them people, even when, for example, the coaching consultant corner, being able to go to an event and actually have sound advice from an expert is really super cool. You know what I mean? And another thing that I realized I did was I added more, even though I'm kicking myself, I added more workshop topics as well as panel discussion topics, just so I can give variety, right? Because when we talk about startup entrepreneurs, just entrepreneurship in general, everybody's on different journeys and certain things are going to resonate with certain people. Some people are looking for foundation, some people are looking for growth, some people are looking at finance. Even we talk about finance, I make it very clear that I'm not interested in supporting on the business financials, but really trying to get entrepreneurs to understand personal finances and bookkeeping. Because I find that if we don't have these things done, how do we show up in our business financials? How do we get there if we're not collecting our receipts
Right.
and organizing them accordingly and really being able for the accountant to compile our P&Ls, our profits and losses? And we really got to get tight in those areas. So for the most part, I'm really that foundational piece, making sure that those pieces that may be lacking for a great system approach or to have great processes, that those things have been ironed out essentially.
Yeah, I think that's super important. And for everyone listening, I know, Nikki, you mentioned some of the ecosystem partners. Again, all of these reside in Canada because we do have a international audience listening. So for anyone who's probably curious about when this event is happening or where it's going to be happening here in Canada, in Toronto. But I
Yeah.
mean, this is actually a good little follow-up question. Have you had thoughts about making this event global in a way where like maybe it's being streamed across, on a certain platform where people can join it virtually and also intake with the event? Because I could definitely see something like that happen in the future.
Ooh, Belgium. That's awesome. Somebody tuning in
She's
from
just
Belgium.
trolling. She's not from Belgium. This is what Chanel does. She likes to play with me. All right, whatever.
Chanel is at Belgium in heart, okay? And she's
Yeah.
manifesting. She's manifesting, and I love that. So thank you. Thank you. So, not jumping the gun, but I will say that one of the things I will be doing is revisiting a lot of the program that we have. I just really want to be able to create impact. And so, while we no longer host a social, one of the things that we are doing is the round table. The round table has that approach. So there's more details to come with that. Probably looking to do it in March. It will be a virtual online event. There is an actual company that I met at Collision, a Black-owned company who has their own, I wouldn't say media network. So they have different people with different channels. And I figured, hey, what better way than as a Canadian to then leverage their platform to then stream this. So definitely after the key to entrepreneurship, look out for the roundtable. I really want to make that impact. Of course, I love how you went global. I'm only thinking international, but why not?
I mean, you gotta think big. You gotta think big
Yeah.
to achieve big. So
That's
I
true.
love
That's true.
that. But even just like the way you kind of broke down, like again, what to expect with the workshops and the panels. Again, you said you added more into it, but I think it's really important because sometimes you do go to different events and sometimes you'll get a very I want to say like scarce amount, and it's not to kind of even diminish any other events that have put on like such valuable information and incredible insight, but it
Mm-hmm.
really takes a lot to say, you know what, like I'm about to throw the full course meal at y'all because I
I
think
know. I
it's
know.
important
Even
to like
I'm like, what are you doing? But it must happen because that's what everybody keeps telling me, and that's another thing too. You got to pay attention to people who care about you, people who are invested in you. People see things in you, and so you have to tune in. And people say like, you're the one to bring this, you're the one to get it going. And so I got to tap into that. For whatever reason the vision came, where I was like, you're gonna quadruple the initiatives that you've offered in the past, and all of it had to do too as well with the venue. So being able to have our venue sponsorship to the C Center, which is for young Black professionals. They mainly help with youth looking for career employment, and they have an amazing space. And I honestly also as well can't wait for people to see that space, another Black-owned space that potentially that they could use. And for anybody listening, one of the things that I'm strongly going to be doing is making sure that this is not a one-time thing, that we're looking to create partnership with this venue, whether it's leveraging their venue again or even offering our services to help the youth in need. So I can't wait for everybody just to even see the space and what it does for our young professionals.
absolutely. And again, I think the partnership aspects are really important. I think for a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people, sometimes when they work with an organization or they hold an event, usually it's a one-time thing. And
Yeah.
I would say, like, again, maybe this is my perspective. Sometimes it's okay to have the one times because I've
Yeah.
had the one timers. Like you
Yep.
definitely want to get that just experience, be able to say, hey, I did it. I was able to
Mm-hmm.
plan something from start to finish. But I think from the conversations you and I have had, and you've kind of helped, to ingrain this into my mindset as well, is to build those long-term relationships because it's like,
Yeah.
okay, you've done a couple of one-time events. Now you have that under your belt. why
Yes.
aren't why aren't you trying to like say like, hey, let's lock in like a full, like maybe it's like a for the next 5 years, like we'll be
Yeah.
the home venue for like the
Yes.
key to entrepreneurship. And I think that's super important. So I
Mm-hmm.
think for any entrepreneurs listening, you want to build those long time partnerships. And I think it starts by just putting out a plan, going out to events like the key to entrepreneurship, definitely attending
Yep.
to that.
Yep.
And like just just go for it. Sometimes again, you have to shoot your shot, even if you're not going to hit the targets.
Yes, and that's a as I said, y'all. I know I show up. I know I show up, but this event is pushing me out of my comfort zone. And what I really want to be able to share when it's over is how much you just have to go for it. Like how much you have to get uncomfortable. How much of us as entrepreneurs in the early onset don't really understand what collaboration is or partnership. I'm hoping that with the event, they can see that like I've never done events by myself. It's always the collective of people, but really being able to see the ecosystem come through, I want them to see that. I want them to see that people are invested in partnering to make sure that entrepreneurs have what they need to continue to do the best that they can and excel in their business.
Definitely, definitely. I see another comment from Alicia. I met Nikki at Key Entrepreneurship, and we have been friends since. And again,
That
that's great too.
that
That's great too. I mean,
that's so true.
absolutely. Also, Chanel, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. 100. And like, listen, I think I even said this a couple weeks back on
Yeah.
a previous conversation. Sometimes for events, it's good to go out there and network. But sometimes, like, and again, it depends on the event. It's good to just find like a good companion that you can talk to afterwards. Because again, I think it goes back to
Yeah.
you want to have like an inner circle that supports you, not just through your business, but just in personal life as well. Because
Hmm.
sometimes, like, I feel like it depends for me. If I go to an event and I always hear the first sentence being, "So what's your business?" It's like I won't always rage, but it's like I would love if you asked me something a little bit different. How about like, hey, like any hobbies you're doing, anything fun
Yeah.
or you know?
Yeah. 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 I hear you on that one strong.
Yeah, like
Oh
maybe
man.
it's just me. I don't know. Maybe I'm sound a little too ignorant or myself. I
No,
don't
and
know.
no, I think there's like in all honesty, people like us, we're always in the business. And I know that it sounds crazy that when we get out there, it wouldn't be surprising that people are asking us about business. But maybe this is a conversation to have that as we move into 2025, there should be more of a focus on ensuring that we're checking in with entrepreneurs' mental health. And we're not just asking them about how business is going, but we're also asking them, hey, are you well? Are you good? And anything new you've tried outside of the business, like I think is warranted to have those conversations, so because it can be mentally draining if it's all the time business, right? As much as I love the key to entrepreneurship, I really can't wait for the planning to be, because it's just been a lot, it's just been constantly no sleep, no this, no that, but I know that once again, another thing too, I'll say to entrepreneurs here is we got to make sure we create runways for ourselves, giving ourselves
Hmm.
enough time to get things done. Everything we do in the business is a project, everything. And so the longer runway you give yourself, the more successful and outcomes you'll have. I'm going to get stuff done, but the pressure, it's that part. I don't condone overwhelming. I don't overwhelmingness. I don't condone anxiety. I really believe that we need to focus on making sure that we're doing things in enough time so that we're not burning ourselves out as entrepreneurs.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, I do want to go on to the next question here. I do want you to share a little bit of the vendors or the people that will be participating and being involved within the key to
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneurship. Because again, I think for events like this, it's not only good to get valuable information, but for anyone who has like a business or something that they can offer to an event, being a vendor is a fantastic opportunity, or just do whatever
Mm-hmm.
role that they play. It's great to get their services, get their products out there to a fresh, very active audiences. So I mean, like, maybe you could share a little bit of like who can we expect? Are we going to see any
Yeah.
like heavy hitters come in?
No, so one thing about me, what I really focus on is getting the ones that don't have visibility to these types of events. And so for this event, we are focusing on professional services. So you're going to see, and I'm very anal about not having like multiple. So it's like um, tax services, marketing, uh, bookkeeping, because I mean bookkeeping does fall under tax services, but then once again there's that accountant piece, right? If you don't have an accountant, perhaps you can get one there. And then what ended up happening was when we started to promote the vendor opportunity for professional services, I got local businesses reaching out. So I was like, you know
Mm,
what, I said, why not mix it up? Why not give some local businesses who are doing, for example, beaded stuff or offering feminine products to be in a space where they are an entrepreneur. So it's almost like giving them a spotlight to be in the space to hopefully inspire other entrepreneurs who are walking the space like, oh my God, this is your business. This is what you do. And so it is going to be that mix of professional as well as local businesses. So you have the opportunity to shop, of course, and then you also have the opportunity to perhaps connect with a service that you probably were missing in your business, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the special value of like having these like vendors or these opportunities is that you get to
Mm-hmm.
connect with someone that you may have never knew that you needed. You know, it's like, oh wow, I didn't think I needed someone who does like
Right.
bookkeeping service, but it's like I think this is really good for me. I think I should really tap
Mm-hmm.
into it. And I love again your attention of like the selection process. Cause you know, again, sometimes you'll go to certain events and it's like again, this is not me calling it out, but it's like you'll see 5 of the same people, same businesses, and it's just kind of like,
Yeah.
all right, cool. But now it kind of feels like a civil war because it's like, no, come to my
Yeah,
stand, you know?
yeah, for sure. And that's one of the benefits of being able to host events throughout the year that I do get the opportunity to invite different people to our network. And as we look to build our MVP 2.0, it is doing just that. It's adding these services as well that people can have access to, which going back to partnerships and creating long-term relationships, I would have a whole roster, in the palm of my
Mm,
hands that I can rely on, that I can depend on, that perhaps probably already is supporting, the entrepreneurs within the ecosystem. And so that's the type of building we're talking about. When we talk about partnerships, like yes, long and great long companies and all that great stuff, but even the ones around you, those local businesses that you can always add here and there, supporting them, but while they're supporting you at the same time.
absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Okay, I do want to dive a little bit into building a dream because, like, I know we
Mm-hmm.
did talk about it in our previous conversation, but that was a while ago. And now that
That
you're
was a
here, I feel like
while ago.
we
Yeah,
got to do a
yeah.
little a retune. We got to refine and just what exactly building the dream is. But again, for people who are
Mm-hmm.
tuning in, this is the safe room here on Love Bay Radio. We're here with Miss Nik-Keisha Moodie, and we have been having a fantastic conversation. We've been talking about the key to entrepreneurship. I still got some more questions on that, but I do want to switch gears a little bit, talk about building the dream society now.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the first time actually like meeting you, and ironically, it was on IG. It was Instagram
Yes,
Live.
it was. Yep,
Yes,
it
yes. So
was.
I mean, it was from that conversation. I think it
Mm-hmm.
was Tasia. It was
It
Tasia's
was
live.
Tasia. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Shout
it
out to
was.
Coach Millie. Shout out to Coach Millie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I was really intrigued of just like some of the things that you were doing, and then I heard about building the Dream Society, and I thought,
Mm-hmm.
man, like this is such a amazing community. So I mean, I was happy that I was let into this community. I think I was like the first male to be in that
Yeah,
group chat as well.
yeah, yeah, yep. You were for sure. Yeah, I
Yeah,
believe
it was
so. Mm-hmm.
it was crazy, but I mean, just for anyone who doesn't know about building the Dream Society, talk about the origins and what does it mean for entrepreneurs, business owners, anyone to be a part of this community where they can build, as they go, but also get
Mm-hmm.
such amazing support.
Yeah, so I'll bring it back in context. So I am the founder of Nik-Keisha Moodie Coaching and Development, which is NMCD Incorporated. And what we do is we offer business support services. So we're a consulting firm. And the idea behind it is we offer coaching, mentorship, group coaching. And so what I was realizing was one, it was very hard to connect with a lot of my clients. Two, people that I was meeting in community. And so when I got the opportunity to be a part of Labellum's innovator program, it was like, what do you mean we got to add STEM into the business model? So I took this whim and I said, I'm going to add technology. And I had no idea what it meant. And so I ended up back in June having an MVP that what it allows you to do is one, I would say our WhatsApp right now is the prototype. That's the thing that's been standing long until we can figure out how can we really run with this. But for the most part, building a dream is the core of NMCD Incorporated. It is the resource, it is the tools, it gives you the option to always be surrounded by like-minded individuals. When Shon is making referencing to this AI course, or there's so many different links. The ecosystem is rich. It is very
Mm-hmm.
rich. And so one of the things that I realized very quickly was a lot of things are fragmented. And so how can we help more marginalized and underrepresented entrepreneurs having this access to the ecosystem at their fingertips? Whether you're a mom who, has to work 9 to 5 and then run to pick up your child and then put them to bed, but then your mind can't stop racing at 9, 10 o'clock at night when you want to work in the business, but everything to do with business is closed. And so the idea is whether you're tapping into the WhatsApp group, whether you're leveraging the current resources on the platform, that's actually accessible to you 24/7. And so
Mm-hmm.
it does become that meeting of the minds because you gain access not just to what I have to offer, but what the society is also putting out there as well. And I think, with having building a dream, we're all dream builders. We're all taking that next step to just do better in our business. And once again, it goes back to, you want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, you go
Yeah.
together.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what building a dream is really about. We know we have members in there who we haven't heard from, but those same members will DM me and say, I want to know that I'm in there and I'm watching everything. And I love to hear that because to some degree, they're staying grounded, right? And when their day
Mm-hmm.
comes for them to be able to get active back in their business, they know they're going to have support. They know they're going to have people rooting for them. They know they're going to have people, promoting what it is that they do. And that's what I love about the key to entrepreneurship is that we actually don't sleep. There's always somebody in there that at some time of the night, sharing something because the reality is just like we're entrepreneurs on different journeys, we are also navigating our business at different times of the day. So it's really just expressing that our traditional business support services, the ones that are Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, great that we get to participate in their programming. But then how do we, once again, bounce ideas when we're working on certain things? This is what Building a Dream can provide. It's a whole sounding voice of people that have insights because they're already working on their business. And so the likelihood of you
Yeah.
even doing a mistake, you can simply put something in the chat and say, hey guys, I'm thinking about this, and boom, people are going to chime in. They're going to share their input. And it gives you an opportunity to then make an informed decision.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the term I would probably use is kind of like a entrepreneurial like bank where it's like you can come in and just like get transactions of information as you come in and go. And like you mentioned
Yeah.
that the WhatsApp group chat, which again is the prototype. Again, it never sleeps. Sometimes like it's 3 in the morning, I'm getting text messages. People are going crazy. We mentioned Tasia. I know she has like her
Yeah.
little 5 a.m. session. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
everyone's like super active. So I mean,
Yeah.
overall, like, I do feel again, it's amazing to see the fantastic work of building a dream. And again, the fact that you said that the WhatsApp group chat is a prototype, it just goes to show that, like, man, like what's gonna actually happen when Nikki cracks the code? Like
Oh,
it,
whew,
it's like
sometimes I get the goosebumps. I get
it's
the
like it's over
goosebumps.
for you guys. It's over.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I literally, even what, 4 years in, 3 years, I would say more or less established. I'm only now coming to terms that my business model is B2B to C. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's 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 the fact that me creating partnerships within the ecosystem creates the value for the end users, which are the consumers, the clients, the ones actively using the platform. And that's why I think it's super important to stay connected. I only arrived there because of the conversations that I have when I'm networking or the programs that I get to take that challenges me to, for example, do market research, right? Shout out to Liftoff. Like that program changed my life tremendously with how I view problems and the solutions that we're creating and understanding that is what we're building actually a market size market fit? Is there room for us
Mm-hmm.
to actually make money? Because what tends to typically happen is we go in with these great ideas, but we don't validate them. And then we wonder why it's not working. So I'm very grateful for the things that I've learned to be able to just once again pass that on to another entrepreneur.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's so important. Again, like we have ideas that they sound amazing, but yeah, the validation of it in terms of
Mm-hmm.
like, is this something that's actually going to like fit and work in the market? And like, is there actual profitability in
Mm-hmm.
what we're doing? And again, sometimes it is a it's a long process. Sometimes
Yeah.
you won't figure out
Oh yeah.
everything at once. I mean, I've been
Nope.
doing this show for what, 4.5 years, and I feel like now things are just starting to open up and
Yes.
make sense.
Yeah, yeah, facts. Yeah, yeah. And I think that
Mm-hmm.
if you weren't, I honestly believe it would be another 2 more years before you figured it out. I think personally, 2 or 3, right? Because you're technically, with figuratively speaking, you may not be in an accelerated program, but you absolutely are accelerating your business to the best of your ability.
Right, right, absolutely. Again, like sometimes I feel like I don't know how exactly everything kind of like works for me in a certain way. It's like, oh, I'm here and like it's fine. The next thing you know, like something just pops up. It's like, oh, now like we're off to the races. And sometimes when you get such a grandiose idea, you don't have the time to like really sit
Mhm.
and like reflect. Like I still remember the conversation we had yesterday. Like I'm still kind of like bamboozled, like the advice that you gave me. So I was like,
Listen, and once again, I think I'm at a stage in my life and business where I know way more than I believe I think I do, you know. And I went to an event yesterday and I had somebody who I look up to was like, "Hey, I'm hiring you, I need to do my pitch." And I'm like, "Me?" That's why I'm like, it's super important. You gotta, like, when people are confident in what you do, you have to own that, you know. You gotta stand in that. And so once again, I'm still learning, I'm still navigating, but our conversation made me realize, wow, how I viewed it and how I was kind of like, I see it in my brain. And so one of the things, I'm intentional by saying I'm a visionary growth coach, because once I see that in my brain, I'm just trying to get it out. How do I share what my vision that I see for you? How do I share that with you? And for you, it came in so many bits and pieces. And as we kept talking, I was like, okay, you should do this or do this, da, 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 da. And then it's just like, wow, to arrive there. But once again, I have to give all the grace and glory to God, because it's downloads. That's what it was. It was just things that just kept coming to me that I had to share with you, that you gotta take this and you gotta run with this. You gotta do something with it, right? But that's just the beginning of what is made available for you.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I do appreciate that. Again, guys, if you want like the cold truth and the absolute like nitty to the gritty, Nikki's definitely the person you need to connect with. She has a great heart. She definitely wants to see you succeed in everything that you
Yeah.
do. Again, she's not a gatekeeper. She's not like, nah, I don't feel like helping you. Nah, it ain't gonna work like that.
I can't, honestly. I said to myself, even if I wanted to, it's so hard, yo. It's like an itch, like, oh my god, I have this thing to tell you, and I just end up doing it anyways. Catch me on
I
a good
feel
day.
you.
Catch me on a good day. That's why people love
I
to meet me at networking events. Pick my brain.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So, okay, I want to kind of circle back with the key to entrepreneurship. So again, I mean, I did mention, guys, November 24 taking place at the C
Mhm.
Center. I do want to ask you, just how has the process been planning this entire event? Because I know you've been doing a lot. Because I mean, we've had the
Yeah.
conversations. I don't want to bring it to the full here because I feel like I have so much respect for you. I'm not gonna dish out your dirty laundry on this show. But I mean, just overall, how proud do you feel knowing that you had some things that you had to kind of like fix out? I know the original date was November 23rd and it got switched, but being
Mhm.
able to still say like we're almost there, like it's about to happen, like how proud do you feel knowing that you've been able to work with everything that's happened so far, but also see that people really want to attend this? Again,
Mm.
we looked at the comments, people were like,
Yeah.
go buy your tickets now. Like, how proud do
Yeah.
you feel seeing just
Yeah.
this overall experience plan this event?
So let's just be as transparent as possible, right? This is a safe room, and I think it's a conversation where the more and more I have conversations, the more I have conversations about this. So I do bootstrap my business, right? And what I didn't foresee as a risk was that the hours could decrease. And so while I was comfortable, taking care of my family as well as, having payroll, my contracted workers, when my hours decreased, I have to do everything on myself. So and it still is, because the team has now come back slowly. I right away brought back my VA the minute I could. But when you no longer operate as a solopreneur and you have to come back to that phase of the side of your business, you begin to realize how much you've evolved. Like, I cannot operate anymore without somebody. And it makes it because of the technology, right? Having that extra arm, having the community, it does create another like area in your business. And so I am an event planner by, certified trade. I have that background, but haven't really focused on it until building a dream, having community events. And so I think what I'm noticing that's different is that people are really willing to help. Like, people are like, no, Nikki, you do so much for community. We want to help you and we want to support you. And I've always been a back office girl, so my things are very much so in sync. But I see the event. Like, I see the ending of the event. I see like people being like, oh my God, thank you for having, and that's what I hold on to. I can only see that. I have to be like, the outcomes of what we have in our lifetime are really manifest and action. That's all it really is. Seeing it and then doing it. There's no way you're not going to get what you want if you combine those two things. So for me,
Mm-hmm.
I see entrepreneurs being able to walk away with something. So for me, at this point in time, I'm not even thinking about me. I'm just thinking like, this has to happen because somebody needs to receive something on that day. And that's how I'm operating. So I have this one vision on my mind. I'm telling you, I don't see the beginning, I see the end. I see me just taking a step back and just looking at the ending of the event and being like, it was all worth it. And that's what I'm holding on
Right.
to, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. And like again, I think that's really important because for a lot of people who do run events, it's usually about like, oh man, like I gotta make sure like this goes well, and they're very concerned about themselves and how everything is gonna be based on the
Mm-hmm.
execution.
Yeah.
And obviously, like we get those jitters. Like when I did my first podcast workshop, boy, oh boy, I was like, man, I hope I don't screw up. I don't want to be that. Like it would suck if I was saying the information. They were looking at me like, yo, this guy's making no sense. Like I'm not connected with anything that was my
Yeah.
nerves. Instead of like
Yeah.
saying, I just want people to walk away with something. And then when people are saying like, you need to run this back like
Yeah.
immediately, it's like,
Yeah.
all right, all right. But it made me realize like it was never about you. It was never about like your ego and your pride. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like again, it's also probably say it's a gift that God's given me that I want to support people in
Mm-hmm.
many different ways. And I just feel like overall, the stuff I do, even with this show, it's not because it's like for me, it's for everyone else. Listen, if
Right.
I want to, like I could flex and get some of the biggest guests. There's a streamer, a very popular streamer, Nik-Keisha Moodie. He's like bringing in multiple like A-list celebrities. I could probably do the exact same thing. If I wanted to call Drake, I'm like, hey Drizzy, we got the same birthday. Come to my crib. But it's like I that's not me. That's not me. I was like, that's not the whole point of the safe room. And I feel like the work that you do,
Mhm.
that's not the whole point to say, like, hey, look at me. I got BEA. I got Nobella.
Yeah.
I got Liftoff. What y'all got to say about me now? Like, that's not
Yeah.
the point. So I
No.
love that because it's so
No.
important for us to understand what role and what purpose we have with the work
Yeah.
that we do and the value that we could provide.
Yeah. We what we do is we show people it's possible. That's how I look at it. That there's no bragging to among these programs that we're taking. It's a validation that you can actually create a roadmap, knowing what resources you have available to you. That is the actual point. Is letting you
Mm-hmm.
know that there's more than what you're currently experiencing. You know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, I do have one more question and then I want to do a little fun activity to close everything off.
Oh, another one.
Don't worry. Don't worry. So the last question, you kind of answer it throughout this entire conversation, but I do want to kind of touch upon it here. Why is it important for you to be such an active leader within this ecosystem for yourself and the people that you support?
We as individuals are faced with a lot, right? From home work life balance, maybe you're a student, maybe you have to take on multiple gig work. I think that it's nice to be motivated and inspired by something that will keep you going. And so for me, I know it's something that people say that I'm great at, and so I hone in on that. Because once again, I'm a self motivator. I don't need anybody to motivate me. But I realize that self motivation also is something that does not come easily for people. And so having the ability to show up and tell people how much they matter, especially in their business, I'm hoping that it just resonates with somebody one day. I'm hoping that somebody could be like, you know what, because of Nikki, I did this in my business. You know what I mean? I'm all for it because we just need the right people to show us once again that we're capable, you know? And so I just kind of move with that. Like I really feel like there are great people out there. But from a community driven perspective, I take pride in knowing that I look like you. I'm going through the same experiences as you, but I'm still thriving because of how I connect myself. And it's not because I know it all, and it's not because I have it all. It's merely because I know that there's something out there for me. And I need people to understand that you're not here on this planet. Yeah, I mean, you can do whatever you want. But I'm telling you, if you decide that you want to become an entrepreneur, you're now experiencing something greater than you. You have to understand that entrepreneurship is actually not for everybody, to be quite frank. It's only for, I think
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneurship is for the chosen. So the thing is, we will go into it and then get discouraged, but then always still have that calling to go back. So can I potentially be somebody's um, inspiration to hone in on that, but do it with grace. Do it with
Mm-hmm.
grace, right? Like this idea that you have doesn't need to be flushed out now. Doesn't need to be flushed out in a year, because whatever God has for you, it's for you. Whenever the timing is supposed to arrive, it's gonna happen. And so I really do take pride in showing people that yeah, I'm this single mom with 4 boys who, you know, while I'm still figuring it out, still trying to help people navigate the stages that I came from. And I just, you know, my
Mm-hmm.
goal is to become a philanthropist. Like that's really where my heart lies. But in the meantime, I just want to be that relatable face for Black people, for the BIPOC community, for women, you know, people in marginalized situations. I just want people to know that there's possibilities for us, but we do have to work for it. But at least don't even do it by yourself. Like join Building a Dream, where you get that level of community and support, even when you feel like, you know, you're not capable, essentially.
I mean, I really have nothing else to say, ladies and gentlemen. You kind of you said everything, but I mean, yeah, again, ever since knowing you again, you have been someone that's just been very determined, and it's great to see just how many people you've impacted. You know, just from what I've seen for the last year and a half or so, it's just
Hmm.
been absolutely amazing. And like, I do consider you like one of like my strongest mentors in terms of just like
Thank
the
you.
advice that you give, just the feedback, just reminding me, just like, hey, you have something like really special. And sometimes,
Yep.
again, for me, it's kind of hard because it's like again, entrepreneurship is not an easy journey. Sometimes it's like trying to connect your product or service with your audience, or maybe it's like trying to make revenue from it, or even if it's just trying
Hmm.
to build those long-term relationships. There's always a problem with somebody. So sometimes when that problem weighs out any possible solution, it's very
Yeah.
discouraging. But I think for
Yeah.
you, like, you always remind people about their worth and their value, and like what you actually have is like that's a game changer. So like
Yeah.
again, I do appreciate everything that you've done for me to just help me stay on track, you know, being able
Mhm.
to wake up every day by the grace of God and be like, all right,
Yeah.
let's get to work.
Facts.
Let's get to
Yep.
work.
That's it. I'm telling you. I think this is the since having Building a Dream. I mean, I had my moments where I'd be like, guys, I may not be like vocal for a weekend, or, you know, I might take some time to myself, but I always find me coming right back. Where in the past, like sometimes you'll have those moments where you crash and then you're gone for like a week or 2 weeks. I haven't experienced that because early on, you guys gave me grace. You said, Nikki, why do you always have to show up here? It's not that serious. You know what I mean? So I show up when I can, but I just love the fact that it's just we're just always there. We're always like there, like right there, like at the tip of our fingertips, ready to support, communicate, ask questions. I love it. I love it. I love it there. Thank you.
Yeah, I love it too, for sure. All right. So those are all the main questions, but I do want to wrap things up with a little fun activity before we hop off. Again, for those who have been tuning in since the beginning, I appreciate y'all. If you're just coming in right now, you're listening to the Safe Room here on Love Bay Radio. We've had a wonderful conversation with Miss Nik-Keisha
Mhm.
Moodie. We've talked about the key entrepreneurship. We talked about building a dream society. We talked about just your incredible journey, just how you've been able to build yourself up to a certain echelon. I can't pronounce the words, and
Yeah.
a certain level, a certain level. You
I'm
know
not
when the
even
words are
gonna
just like
try to. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna try to pronounce it for you, but I know what you're trying to say. Is it
it's like
echelon? I'm
echelon.
not
Yeah,
even.
yeah, yeah,
Yes, yes,
yeah, yeah.
I get it.
I needed to like to take a deep breath and like, all right, just say the word. All right.
Yeah.
But now I do want to do something a little bit fun. It's something we always usually do at the end of our conversations here on the Safe Room. Sometimes it's the same activity. Other times I switch it up. I kid you not. When it comes to these stuff, I literally make them up on the day. The day of
Wow.
the interview, I just make it up. It's like sometimes even 30 minutes before. So I'm literally telling you guys my little secret. I just be thinking, all right, what do I want to do? Am I gonna do this today? I'm gonna do that today. So today I decided, you know what, we're gonna do riddles. We're gonna do
Hmm.
riddles.
What the front door?
Are you would you say you're a riddle
No.
person? No.
So let's go. Let's do this. Let's do this.
Okay. Okay, so I have four riddles. And listen, I would just say try your best and don't overthink it. Because the thing about riddles, I think a lot of people come after me for this. It's like, oh, this doesn't make no sense. Well, A, that's sort of what a riddle's supposed to be. It's not always the most logical answer all the time. And B, I mean, just supposed to go with the flow. When you think about it too much, then it's just gonna be like your brain's gonna be
Oh
fried.
my
So
god. Oh my god.
okay.
Okay.
I'll start you off with an easy one, okay? So here we go. I have no life, but I can die. What am I?
I have no life, but I can
Mm-hmm.
die. What am
Yes.
I? I have no life, but I can die. I don't know why I'm thinking like a car, like battery, like because it's not alive, but battery.
It is a battery. You had it. It's
Oh
a
my
battery. Yeah.
god.
I told you, don't
Okay.
overthink it. Don't overthink
I
it.
was like, what's alive but has no life? I'm like, okay, it's charging something, but then wow, okay, get me out of my head already. Oh my god.
I see that wasn't so bad.
Ugh,
Okay.
Sean.
Let's try another one. Let's see if we can go 2 for 2. The more there is, the less you see. What am I?
The more there is, the less you see. What am I?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I can only imagine people in the comments probably just searching up just to see, and they're like, "Oh, I see what Shon means." It's just
The more there is, the less you see. The more there is, the less you see.
mm-hmm.
I don't freaking know.
Do you want to give like a guess, perhaps? Like,
You want to give me a hint?
um, okay, I'll probably say like it's not like a physical thing. It's not a physical
Okay.
thing, so it's a very common thing that we experience like around this time of the junction, I should say. I don't want to like give away like too much stuff with, but
Why? The
I mean
more.
like we experience this like every day. We do.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll say it's not a physical thing. We do experience this every day.
Okay. Um. Do you like what time of the day? Just
Around this time, I mean, it's nighttime, so I mean,
Darkness. Oh my
yes,
God. The more you see. What was that again? The more
the
you
more there is, the less you see.
shoot. Wow, that was a good one. Good hint. I like that. Okay, no, I can't do
Okay.
any more, Shon. Today's been a long day. I can't.
Okay, let's try one more. Let's try one more. And this is actually one
Oh my God.
this is one I've actually told multiple times before. Okay. So let me see. I just have to pull it up because I had it written down somewhere.
Maybe it wasn't meant to be. Maybe it wasn't give my brain a break.
All right, here we go. So a bat and a baseball are worth $1.10 in total. The bat is $1 more than the baseball. How much does the baseball cost?
A bat and a baseball
Yes, the
cost
bat.
a
A
dollar
dollar
and
and
ten
10 cents.
cents,
Yes. The
and
bat
the bat
is a
is a
dollar
dollar
more
more.
than the baseball. So how much
What's
does the baseball cost?
how much does the baseball cost?
Yes.
So, guys, little plug. Like I'm an advisor. I do, help people with their financial plans. Listen, we don't need to. I use calculators. I want to get a calculator right now.
This is mathematics,
The bat and the ball
Mm-hmm.
cost $1.10, but the
Yeah.
bat costs more. How does that freaking make sense, Shon?
Yeah.
They both cost the same thing.
What?
You just said it. You said the bat and the baseball
I
cost a
said the
dollar
bat and
ten.
the ball, they in total,
They
the
okay,
bat and the ball in total is a
okay,
dollar 10 cents.
okay,
And the bat is a dollar more than the ball. So how much does
okay.
the baseball cost?
10 cents?
It's not 10 cents.
5 cents? 10 cent, five
How
cent,
much?
dollar? Like
No. I mean, which one? What's going to be the answer?
the real question is, did it come with tickets to the Blue Jays games, right?
I don't
What?
even know why Shon's asking that. You don't even watch the Blue Jays, so
Wait, no. Okay, Shon. Okay, so it costs a dollar more. So yeah, it's
yeah.
10 cents.
No, it's not 10 cents.
5 cents? But how? Because it costs a dollar more.
It is 5 cents.
How?
Because the baseball is 5 cents. That means the bat would be $1.05. And but by that, the bat is a dollar more than the.
Okay.
I told you, don't overthink it.
Oh my God. Oh, whatever. I can't. Wow. Yeah, that was right in my face. That was right in my face. Cost a dollar more. Dollar 5 cents, dollar two. Oh God. You shouldn't ask people mathematical questions anytime past 6 p.m. Just putting it out there for the next person.
Hey, listen, like don't knock yourself down. I mean, you got one of the three, so I mean, you have that. You
No,
got
I
two
got
actually.
1.5. Yeah, because you gave me a hint.
I had to throw you a lob for the second one,
You
but
know.
I mean, listen, like you did great. You did great. But that's everything I do have. So no more tricks. Thank
Oh
you,
my God.
Nikki, for coming on the safe room, for sharing everything about the key to entrepreneurship. I'm super excited for November 24th.
I
Guys,
am
again,
too.
get your tickets. Again, if you're
Yeah.
in Toronto, you gotta pull up. It's the fourth quarter. Again, you don't want to be missing out on an event,
Yeah.
an opportunity like this. You want to come in the clutch. So
Yeah.
definitely
2025 is around the corner. Yeah, you're right.
Yes,
Yeah.
we are approaching that time of 2025. So, Nikki, please tell people where they can follow you on social media, where they can contact you, and where people can go get their tickets for the Key to Entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. So if you hit up our platform on Instagram, we are there at NMCD Incorporated. You can also hit us up the same way as well on LinkedIn. Sorry, excuse me. A lot of these platforms we have, they have links in the bio, and so feel free to go ahead and click that link, and you'll have access to not just the event, but all the great stuff that we do. But just in case, you can actually type in bit.ly/, uh, building a dream, the key. And once again, it will take you directly to our website that has the link to our Eventbrite page. So thank you so much for having me today. As always, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
I love that. Yes. Thank you for Nikki for coming on. And thank you to everyone listening to the Safe Room here. You can follow us at Instagram at the Safe Room Official, my personal page, the president of TO on Instagram as well. Go check up our YouTube channel for my personal YouTube channel. We're trying to get to 100. I see 89. I don't want to do another crash out, guys.
You have to.
I need to get 100 by the end of this year. I might do a celebration. Who knows? Yes, listen, Nick. I feel like people want to play with my emotions. They want to see
First
the
and
bad
foremost,
guy.
did you
Shon
did you
Williams
say
come out.
80? Did you say 89? You said 89. You're at 89. So you have 11 left. Shon, you're gonna get that by the end of this month. I don't even know who you're fooling.
You'll be surprised, man. You try to tell people to follow, and then they're just like, yeah, I'm just gonna be an absolute just jerk and just not do that. Like sometimes I have to put like the foot on their neck and just be like, listen, like we're gonna have some problems. So again, don't worry, guys. I'm a loving guy. I wouldn't hurt a fly unless like it's absolutely necessary. But again, for those watching, check out my personal YouTube channel, Shon Williams. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers, and I think once I hit 100, the algorithm's gonna be like on my side. Eventually, just gonna start skyrocketing. I feel like that's how YouTube works, honestly.
Gotcha.
You know?
Gotcha. Fair
But
enough. Okay.
also, guys, if you want to try out our new service, our video business plan, listen, it's a game changer. We're working on evolving it even more. I told you before, like me and Nikki had a conversation yesterday. Let's just say, guys, the idea, the vision she gave me, y'all ain't ready. Y'all are so not ready for what we're about to do. But if you want to get your video business plan, head to our website, thesaferoom.ca. Book your session today. We have open spots. You definitely want to tap into this. But again, thank you to Nikki. Thank you to everyone listening here. And make sure you come back next week, Thursday, to your favorite show here on Love Bay Radio, The Safe Room. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.